there are two main reasons why people fail to get started building their $5,000 to $15,000 a month in Airbnb passive income without owning property. And if you avoid these two things, you'll be well on your way to being able to do that, to create financial independence and freedom for your family. And these are the two things. First thing is, people believe that you have to own property in order to use it for Airbnb. And they also believe that if they don't own it, why would landlords want to, or a landlord would not want to rent to them when they could be the one making that money for themselves? And so let me just address the first one. The first one, no, you don't have to own property. In fact, my family and I, we have just under 100 listings between Florida and New York, and none of them we own. And the way we've done that is we have landlords reaching out to us on a daily basis using a special template that I use. I give these landlords so that they understand what I'm going to be using the places for, and that I'm interested in renting or leasing their space for at a minimum of 1 year. Now, you would think, and so when you reach out to them properly and you're honest, they will reach back out to you if they have a place that's available for lease. Now, there's a way that you need to say that. One thing you don't want to be saying is that you are subleasing. So when you say subleasing, a lot of times people say subleasing, and landlords don't want to sublease. And the reason being, I mean, I've been a landlord for, 30 years. And one thing I know as a landlord that other landlords don't want to do, and it's subleasing. Airbnb is not considered subleasing. The reason, but let me tell you why. The reason why is because subleasing is when you have a legal agreement between two parties, the tenant and another party, that tenant is going to give legal rights to staying in that property. And so now that third person has a signed agreement with the tenant who doesn't even own the property that gives them access and the right to stay there without the landlord's permission. Landlords don't want to do that. But with Airbnb, it's not the same. With Airbnb, they don't have a legal contract to stay in the place, so it's not considered subleasing. So you're just hosting, and so that's the big difference. And when you approach the landlords and you understand that, you stop using that language, then what's going to happen is the landlords will understand a lot better, and they're going to be more open to working with you. Now, the other piece is, you would think, well, if you're making, because when we do it and you do it properly, you should be making 2 to 3 times more than what the rent is. So when you pay your rent, you're going to be keeping at least the minimum of what you paid in rent in your pocket, or up to double that amount. And you might think, well, why would landlords want to do that? Well, they want to do it because some of them are not interested in learning a new thing. They're not interested in dealing with the back and forth with Airbnb guests. Many of them believe that it takes more than really what it does take. And some just are happy collecting rent and not having to deal with a whole lot of extra of motion. And so that's where we come in. So what you do is, you're going to just be the tenant. You're going to be leasing the place. You'll be taking care of the place, right? You'll be taking care of the normal maintenance because you're the tenant. If there's any major maintenance things that come up, the landlord's still responsible for that. But now the only thing that they're interested in, are you taking care of the place and are you paying your rent on time? And if you do that, as long as you're doing those two things, then you having your guests come in and out, your Airbnb guests come in and out, they're going to be okay with, as long as you're open and you're upfront and honest when you begin the conversation. And so those are the two things. If you can avoid talking about, when you talk to the landlords, using the term subleasing, and begin using the term hosting, and if you can be honest up front with them, when you give them the template, so the template allows them to understand what you're going to be using the place for. When you give them the template, you're being honest, and then when they invite you out to take a look at the place, then now you can get to know each other, build rapport, make sure it's always a win-win situation, and then you'll be able to move forward, locking in a lease, because most people are going to give you the places. Why? Not because you're the best business person in the world, not because you make the most money in the world, not because you have the greatest credit in the world. They're going to give it to you because they like you. And so prayerfully this was helpful, and if you just follow those 2 steps, you should be able to get started very quickly building your $5,000 to $15,000 a month in Airbnb passive income without owning property. God bless you.